Trinity of truth. They call us proof. The strange, the weird, the odd, the real. Tom Zames, Divinely Sierra, and Catalyst Jones.
Trinity of truth.
Man, I hope you guys saw that intro because I sure as fuck didn't.
You didn't?
We saw it.
I saw it. Yeah, we saw it for sure. It looked really good. Hello, hello.
Okay, awesome. You guys talk because my internet on my end is fucked, but as long as we're streaming, you guys are connected through streaming. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Tom.
All right. What's up?
I can hear you both. What's up, guys? Happy to be here. Happy Wednesday.
Happy
Hells
Wednesday.
yes. Okay, well, X doesn't like us. They refused us to be live over there for some reason. So we are live on YouTube for the first time, and for the second time, we are live on Rumble. And I'm fucking excited. We got some callers tonight. We got some videos to play, and I want to encourage everybody listening to this or watching live. If you submit videos, we will add them into the wheel of videos. I forgot what we were going to be calling it, but we have a wheel and we're just going to spin it. And if your video comes up, we're going to play it and break it down for you. And so we don't have enough videos submitted for the wheel today, but we do have some videos to go over with you guys, which is going to be fucking awesome. And we were just talking behind the scenes about what a pain in the ass the DMV is. So why don't we just jump into that, Tom?
Total pain in the ass, right? But every time I go and I get stung, it's like it's a reminder of you don't even need to play this game. Like, I don't know if you guys listening even know this, but the whole thing with like your driver's license, registering your vehicle, it is all fucking bullshit. Just like everything else in this world, and you don't have to do it. You don't need a driver's license to even drive, or you need a driver's license to drive, but the definition of driving is a commercial vehicle. So like if you do delivery, if you're traveling, you do not need a driver's license. The whole thing's bullshit. But yeah, I had a whole fiasco today trying to accomplish something, and it's just the culture is disgusting. You know, like I drove 40 minutes to this place where I called yesterday, and they said they accept out of county people. So I specifically went to this place, 40 minutes. I walk in, and then they tell me we're not accepting anybody from out of county. And I said, I just called you yesterday, and you said you did. And she's like, oh, that was yesterday. You know, the fucking attitude, right? And I said, look, I drove here 40 minutes. Can you help me out? You know, hook it up. And, this sheriff like comes over. We don't care how long it took you to get here. So, fuck these motherfuckers. But it's just a reminder, we don't need to play these games. And that's the way these systems are set up. Like, they're intended to be like that. The people that work there are miserable, so they act fucking miserable. And they want it that way. And then their miserableness spews out into every other person that has to come in there and tend to some stupid fucking bullshit. And then their miserableness pours into that person. And then they leave and they take that with them the rest of the day. And the whole fucking world's miserable. And that's how they do it.
Yeah. And it's all completely optional if you know how to not sign yourself into it and how to avoid, like you said, like you don't have to play the game. We just don't, a lot of us, most of us, majority, don't know how to remove ourselves from the game, and places like that where they make it so mandatory, or, they make you think, those places are crawling with dark energy because they make you go there. They're forcing you to go there. They're forcing thousands of people to go there every single day. So it's, like you said, it's radiating that negative energy, just reminding you that you're a slave, that these systems own you, and that if you don't follow the game, then you're screwed. But like you said earlier when we were talking behind the scenes,
they're assholes about it too. Like, you never go in there and hardly
they're never
see
happy.
a nice...
That place is crawling with reptilians. It is. They're all cold, no empathy, no warmth. It's just the worst.
Man, I'm
Yeah.
afraid to try to talk again.
Why?
Oh, I cut out. You guys cut out when I spoke last time. So I'm like, fuck, dude. Is there even a point of me being here tonight? This is gay as fuck. It's faking gay.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
I can fine.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. And the most fucked up thing about it is I would say the majority of people don't realize that there is another option to this, and they're just thinking that this is life and this is how it has to be. And unfortunately, there's some of us like myself that are awake and are still yet.
Yeah, I lost you for a second, but are still doing it. Yeah, that's how I feel too. I'm attached to the system in a lot of ways that I need to get out of, but it's a learning process. They have us deep in this, and they don't want it to be common knowledge, so they make it hard for you to learn. But there are ways to learn. It's just a matter of doing the research and doing the work. And I myself need to do it,
I quit paying taxes back in like 2006 or 7. And every time that I get a new job and have to file my W forms, I always claim exempt. And it's almost every single time. Now it's online, so I don't have to deal with the HR. But like the last few jobs that I've had, they're like, you can't do that. And I'm like, yes, I can. And I am going to.
Right.
Totally.
You're so conditioned to thinking that you can't do that when you totally can do that. You can fucking totally do that. And your taxes are voluntary, and you can totally not even fucking file. That shit is voluntary as fuck. Everything in this.
Yeah, I don't file. I just don't file. And the fucked up thing is they still they find ways to take shit out of your paychecks anyways. Like they'll get you for Medicaid no matter what. And then because you have to pay the people that are on Medicaid. And for some reason they get me for like $60 altogether, but I'm still retaining like 98% of my check, 99% of my check.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good, but not a lot of people know that they can go do that. They hid everything from us. Everybody.
Right. And I'm also there's a silver and gold company, which I'm also a little weary about these companies. It seems like every podcast is sponsored by one, and that kind of freaks me out. But the Cult of Conspiracy is sponsored by a gold and silver company, and they have like a program to get you out of your 401k and into like silver and gold in your hands. And so I'm working on that.
Yeah.
It's actually quite simple.
Yeah.
What's simple? What's simple about it?
Well, basically, you just get a hold of your HR department, whoever your 401k is with or was with, and you get the information that the silver company needs, and they basically just do it for you. It's like a straight transfer, and you can have it as an account, or you can actually have physical gold or silver.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart to have it.
Is it though? Because they manipulate the price of that as well. Only anything is valuable if somebody that has power wants to give it value. Like if they walked outside, whoever the proverbial they is, and just said, you know what, gold isn't shit anymore. Fuck you guys. Like all we really have it for is what its conductive usage is, and that's it.
Yeah, truth. That's the truth. You're right.
I would say if there's a system collapse, the most valuable things are going to be shit like ammunition, drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, shit like that. People are going to fucking pay top dollar for.
Right.
Or barter top dollar for.
Right. Yeah. You got to get the good drugs.
Well, speaking of if there is a system collapse, I kind of have a video that goes along with that. And I'll go ahead and play that right now. And this is somebody's take on what is happening right now and where it's going to go.
Are they gearing up for World War III?
The clash of civilizations, they're going to mutually destroy each other, and then the remnants will only be, and survivors will only be the ones that like protected and were righteous Gentiles and are Noahides, and go along with the agenda of the Messianic age in Israel and the central religion and tech power from Jerusalem with their anointed king and Noahide laws. And so look at Trump. We've got all these Zionists like Marco Rubio and Hegseth and Homeland Security and the UN. It's just all the most ardent Zionist cabinet in political history in America and in Israel. Netanyahu and Trump both returned to power. And, the Sanhedrin in Israel minted a coin. They've minted several messianic coins as Trump, Cyrus, who's going to help them rebuild the third temple. They did an Abraham Accords coin as well. That's what else we're going to see, an expansion of the Abraham Accords, some type of peace deal with the West Bank, and then normalization with Saudi Arabia. Trump is just saying today, there's a clip of him talking about if Iran assassinates him, that he's laid out plans and they're going to obliterate Iran. So they've wanted war with Iran for a long time. That would be the fulfillment. And I hope that they don't accomplish that. I hope that they aren't able to carry any of this out, but that is what the plan is.
Well, it'd be a way of wiping out a large portion of the population, like they've done with every war. I do think to some extent is population control, of like slaughtering mass amounts of people. And I don't know if the Georgia Guidestones are right at all. They wanted to like bring the population way down, right? And the less people there are, the more easier they are to control.
Yeah, I believe the Georgia Guidestones was 100,000 people they wanted, or 50,000.
500.
Yeah,
500,000.
500,000. Yeah. Well, and they're manufacturing this Armageddon right now. They're using their script, their Book of Revelation script, and all of this stuff that's happening is happening according to a plan that's been set in place for a long time. So any sort of backlash that Israel is receiving, their downfall is all something that they're kind of wanting as well, because it kind of justifies their their Armageddon that they're manufacturing here. I
agree with that, but they're fleeing. And if they weren't fleeing, I don't understand why they're fleeing. And shout out to Strange Brew Podcast. That's where we got the clip from. And he's actually going to be on the White Rabbit pretty soon. That's another show that I do.
Who's fleeing?
Who is fleeing? Well, I am hearing, and who knows what is real, right?
Right.
Who knows what is real? But they're saying that the natives of Israel are fleeing the area by the hundreds of thousands.
Well, they have they're all, look, the world is insanely brainwashed. So whether, first of all, is it even real? Is anybody actually fleeing? Or are they just telling us people are fleeing? And if people are fleeing, why are they fleeing? They're fleeing, because they're scared. Like, dude, I'm at the point where, honestly, we don't really know if there's even any bombs or anything going off over there.
Yeah.
That is also true.
That's
you see maps of all the planes flying out, but
unless you're there, even if you're there, you don't know what's going on, because of course they're going to make some things explode, some sounds, right? But people hear, oh my God, oh, the bombs and the shaking, right? So they're going to do something, and maybe they will spread a little grenade here and there just to sauce it up. You know what I mean? But it literally could all be fucking fake, and nobody would be none the wiser.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of these bombs I'm seeing have after flares as if they're fireworks, which I think is odd. And then on top of that, I see this as a perfect time to sprinkle in Project Bluebeam with a twist and go with backup Project Bluebeam, where they were going to have the new Messiah appear. And that is exactly what this fucking whole narrative is playing out for.
We're not there yet, though. That's like, they're going to build this up, this whole Jesus versus the Jews thing. They're going to build this thing up because they're building up the Jesus people. They're not ready for it. It's coming. It's coming. Absolutely. You're 100% right. But they're gonna fucking crescendo this thing. I think we got like another 10, 15 on that. That might be the reset. We're scheduled for a reset in 2040.
That is true. Speaking of the reset, here in about 3 minutes, we have our first call in of the night. And this guy is very knowledgeable in the mud floods and ancient civilizations and hidden history. And so I think that was a perfect segue. I don't know if he's watching, but if he is, that would be dope if he called 3 minutes early. But so is there a possibility that there is actual war, bloodshed going on in your mind?
Yeah, there's a possibility. Yeah, there's always a possibility.
Yeah. They don't mind sacrificing people to have their show continue on. So it's definitely, I think it's a mixture of both. I think it's always a lot of propaganda and a lot of illusions and deceit, things that they make up to have us, follow a certain narrative. But, there's also a lot of death and destruction that does come from the things that they do, from their psyops, from their agendas. So I think it can be a mixture of both, and either are definitely possible.
And they're not afraid to kill their own either, because Israeli troops are actually, instead of taking war prisoners, they're actually instructed to be shot and killed because they would rather their own die than to have to give up a prisoner of war.
Yeah, Hannibal directive.
Yes, exactly. And so these people that they have brainwashed into thinking that they're God's chosen people, they have no problem getting rid of.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of them, as far as Israel goes, I think a lot of them are people that. Oh, there's our call.
It's not actually.
Oh, okay. Dang. I think it's a lot of people that claim they are Jews but are not, and that goes for any major system, political, religious people, entities, beings that claim they are something that they are not. So like you, for example, you go way back to like the Khazarian mafia, and they kind of spread out, we talked about this a little bit before, into the Ashkenazi Jews, and they don't really practice Judaism, so you have these Jews that are practicing Judaism, but then you also have, the ones that are saying that they're practicing something, but they're not, and they're not. Is that him?
You want to know why they don't practice it?
Why?
Because they fucking made it up.
Yeah, well, it's all these Abrahamic religions that they gave us, for us to follow something out of fear and control mindsets. But again, they're not actually saying who they are.
We have our first call in for the night. Lance from upstate. What is up, brother?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, man, we were actually just kind of segueing into your call in perfectly, because about 3 minutes ago, Tom here was saying that we're due for another reset. And I was like, oh, man, do I have the perfect guy calling in for this? What is your thoughts on what's going on today, and in relation to the Georgia Guidestones calling for 500,000 people? And we were just kind of talking about Iran and Israel and that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, there's a reason why all these billionaires are building bunkers right now. And we've had multiple resets, I do believe, whether it have been, like meltology or the mud flood. I think it's happened multiple times. And there's been different events, that segued into it. But we all feel something, bro. We all feel something. There's been a lot of people reaching out to me, and I'm sure you guys get the same exact thing, but a lot of people feel the energetic shift, and we all feel something's coming.
Yeah. So, Lance, here on the panel, on the show that you're calling in, this is the Trinity of Truth, and you're joined with Tom Zames and Divinely Sierra. I'm not sure if you're familiar with either one of them, but they are both more awake than I am. So it's like pretty awesome having this show with them. You want to tell our listeners who you are and where they can find you?
Yeah, well, howdy, y'all. It's nice to meet you. I'm Lance from Upstate. You guys can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm a truther, just like y'all. And we're out here just trying to expose the truth. And I mean, all truths will be revealed, and more stuff is coming out every day. And we're proving that we're right more and more every day about all this wild stuff. But with that, though, just like we were talking about, I think last night, is that on this awareness journey, every time I think I got it figured out, something else comes up. So it's a wild journey, that's for sure, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Tom is under the impression that every single thing is fake and gay, and is also throwing out something that is on the table for sure with solid weight. Is it possible, in your opinion, that this is all just a fucking facade and there's not even an actual bombs happening right now?
You know, there's a lot of people that talk about that. And, you know, we talk about how the world is a stage and they play on people's emotions, you know, and they try to keep us in that lower vibrational state, and they feed off of our loosh. And, you know, our egos are attached to those identities. I mean, that's very plausible too. And I've had people that have presented some pretty convincing, you know, arguments about that. But then I see the other side as well, where there is a lot of chaos and wild stuff going on. So I don't know. That's a great question. I think the only thing I will say is that this seems like some sort of effed up simulation at this point. I don't know how else to explain it.
Clip it. Sierra, what's your take on this whole thing as far as it being real, fake, or just one big show? And I'm specifically talking about the past 3 days.
Yeah, Tom, you're muted, by the way. I saw you trying to say something there. I'm sitting here and I'm also kind of thinking of both perspectives, and both make sense. You know, it makes sense to me that there is absolutely chaos and destruction taking place. I would never put it past them. It also makes sense to me that they give us a lot of propaganda and BS for us to emotionally latch onto and feed that narrative or those energies. And it also kind of makes sense to me that maybe we're just flip-flopping back and forth between two overlapping timelines. One where nothing's really happening. There's not a lot of chaos going on. It's all kind of just our own, consciousness and things that we're being told to create for that specific timeline. But then we could also be flip-flopping to a timeline where things are happening, or you know what I mean? So I cannot kind of see any of those things being true. I definitely know that they do create chaos. They will absolutely, they have sacrificed people by the thousands for their agendas, for their beliefs, for their rituals. So I wouldn't put it past them if war is actually taking place. But I think a lot of it is them wanting us to really latch on to any of that fear-based energy and ride it so that we can anchor in those type of darker, denser timelines for them, rather than, us thinking that things are getting better or that, peace is possible. They want us to think that war is just inevitable.
Damn, mic drop on that one for sure. But I don't see them getting down to 500,000 people without actual war.
Didn't they say something about like a 12-second war would be the goal? That would be the agenda, is a 12-second war to end it all and to start fresh or something like that.
Well, how do we know? First off, here's a better question. How many people actually even are there right now?
Yeah.
Let's start
I
with
think
that.
that's a lot, actually. How many people there actually are? And, they say that they could fit everyone in the size of Texas. How many people are there actually in the world? How many are actually human beings in the world as well?
That's what I mean,
And what is real, right? I mean, Lance was bringing up a good point, and I wish I had a video on it and I'm sure both of you guys are well versed in this, but what's your take on the geographical layout as far as the United States actually being Israel or Rome or all of that? Egypt, yes.
Yeah, for sure. Egypt is here. It's like we were talking about last night. The Grand Canyon, Temple of Isis resides there. So, I mean, all the history's been hidden, and there's evidence of the mud flood and the resets all around us. But I'm pretty well convinced that a lot of the old Bible stories they come from here.
Yeah, like Chicago's what, Egypt, right? With the lake and the whole thing.
Shilaga.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, even Elon Musk came out and said that Egypt was in Memphis. I mean, when he came out and said that, I thought that was pretty wild.
Well,
yeah, Shilaga.
He just built a supercomputer right outside of Memphis.
That makes sense.
I mean, you got Athens, Georgia. you know, and you see these names, like all these old world names here.
Yeah, and up the New York State is the Empire State, and it's all Roman. Everything is around here. We were talking about the Erie Canal, the giant works, that huge canal that stretches across the state. And I think it was here. It's ancient, and they just undug it, after the mud floods. But where they broke ground for it was in Rome, New York, of all places. And it's all by ritual and all sorts of that nonsense too. Makes complete sense to me, man. And there's going back to the mound builders and all the ancient civilizations that were here in Atlantis, and how that fell off the face of the earth. I think that the realm has changed several times, with different land sinking and waterways changing.
Yeah. It never resonated with me that over there is the Holy Lands. This fucking shithole is the Holy Lands. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, this is the Holy Lands? This fucking, no offense to anybody watching, but it's, it's a fucking shithole.
Yeah, it's desolate. There's like Gaza. That's it. That's like beautiful beachfront property. But yeah, wouldn't that be crazy if all the biblical stories taking place were them walking across America and all these battles taking place here where we live? And you're right. Like everything we have all of the beauty there is to offer all around the world right here in the United States. Absolutely. Within a 12-hour drive. I mean, I can be from upstate New York and down to, South Carolina, from the snow to, a semi-tropical climate. And then, they talk about Noah and the Ark. The only place that gopher wood is native in the entire world that the Ark was supposedly made of is North Florida and South Georgia. It's the only place in the entire world where gopher wood is native. And that's what they made the Ark out of. Now, there's a lot of convincing evidence. Well, I'll play devil's advocate here, and I'll say that if the entire world was flooded, it's not that far off to think that seeds could have floated from one place to another. Oh, for sure. For sure. Just food for thought. Definitely. Yeah, but that was like a far stretch, with all the other overwhelming evidence. And Tom, you're right. Like fucking, it's so desolate and ugly and everything over there. It would, man. And the Tennessee Titans, right? I brought that up before. Mm-hmm. Like all of these, the New York Giants, like it's, I don't know. Why can't we go to the...
I never even put two and two together on that. Wow.
Why can't we go to the Grand Canyon, Dude, that's always what I joke about all the time is that I'm going to the Grand Canyon, I'm hopping the fence, bro. Because there's all sorts of stuff hidden in there. Yeah. I wonder if they have ways to keep drones out. If people are able to get their drones in there and get some footage. I'm sure there's military bases that will fucking take that shit down, but hey, Lance, do you have time to sit in on a video that I'm about to play? And this is going to be a topic for tonight because our good friend here, Mrs. Divinely Sierra, was just in New York and the black cube of Saturn was brought up. And so she had shared a video and we're going to play it right now. Yeah, absolutely, bro. All right, cool. So you'll be able to hear everything. And the video is 2 minutes and 45 seconds long. Is it playing?
Every major religion on Earth has one thing in common and nobody talks about it. Muslims circle a black cube in Mecca 7 times. Romans built their empire worshipping a black cube deity. The oldest temples on Earth are oriented around Saturn's cycle, and it's not a coincidence. This is the oldest continuous ritual in all of human history, and once you understand what the cube actually encodes, you will never be able to unsee it. So let's get into it. The cube is the hexahedron. It's the only platonic solid with 6 identical faces, and those 6 faces produce 6 directions: north, south, east, west, up, and down. That's it. That's the complete enclosure of 3-dimensional space. The ancients weren't just worshipping a shape, they were encoding a cosmological boundary, the geometric signature of a reality locked inside time, matter, and limitation. Now, because Saturn in the esoteric tradition isn't just a planet, you have to keep in mind that Saturn is Kronos. This is the lord of boundaries, the great restrictor. It's the force that takes living experience and converts it into sequence, decay, and death. And the cube is its geometric fingerprint, a consciousness locked inside 3 dimensions with no visible exit, rendered in the purest form. Oh yeah, and if you're interested in learning more about symbolism and esoteric traditions, make sure to comment the word sanctum down below. I'll send you some information about our esoteric community, the Inner Sanctum, and hopefully get you on the list the next time invites go out. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Kaaba in Mecca, circled 7 times, draped entirely in black. 7 is Saturn's number, the 7th day. The Sabbath, Saturday, literally is Saturn's day, and it's the holy day of 3 of the world's major religions all at the same time. And the Roman god Saturn devoured his own children to prevent being overthrown, which is just the mythological encoding of time consuming everything that it produces. I don't think these traditions are corrupt. What I think is that they're all interfacing, knowingly or not, with the exact same archonic frequency, the Saturnian current, the principle of limitation wearing the face of the sacred. But it goes even deeper than that. The Gnostics knew Saturn as the outermost archon, the most powerful administrator of the entire Kenoma, the demiurgic force sitting closest to matter and furthest from the pleroma. In Neoplatonic cosmology, Saturn is literally the last sphere that the soul passes through before it descends into incarnation. You come in through Saturn. You have to go back out through Saturn. But here's the part that I think almost nobody talks about. In the deepest alchemical readings, the cube isn't only a prison. The hexahedron is the geometric foundation of the Philosopher's Stone itself. The same shape encoding limitation, when you fully understand it and alchemize it, encodes liberation. The prison and the key are actually the exact same shape. So if you're interested in more deep dives like this, make sure to follow for more videos, like the video, and make sure to leave a comment with the word sanctum if you're interested in our esoteric community. I'm slammed with invites right now, but I'll do my best to get back with you for some information and hopefully get you on the list to send out an invite when we do them next. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy.
So I don't know why, but every time the black cube of Saturn is brought up, I instantly go to the Transformers movies.
The Tesseract, is that what it was called? Or is that from a different movie?
It was called the Cube. It was just called the Cube, and it gave life to all of the Transformers.
Yeah.
It was the life giver, or is the life giver. And yeah, I don't know, that sucks because I have Decepticon tattooed across my back. But
Do you really?
I do, for real, yeah, because I was a huge Star Wars fan growing up. It was my favorite cartoon. And then I got Decepticon tattooed in my back on a trip to San Diego in graffiti writing. And I was super excited about it. And then Michael Bay came out with that fucking movie and made it popular. And I was like, you fucker. He took my nostalgic thing away from me by making a movie. But the movie was dope as fuck. Like the first 2 were good.
Yeah, I like those movies. But yeah, the black cube it's an interesting topic for sure. And you see a lot of the symbolism in everything that we do, you know, and the black cube kind of represents, like the guy in the video that we just watched was saying, Kronos, and which in turn represents Yaldabaoth, the demiurge. And the black cube is this centered, structured reality that's completely confined and ordered, you know, which is kind of like the reality that we're in, this 3D reality that's completely confined. We're not able to tap into those higher realms and, you know, currently, or most people aren't, because of this confined reality that we're in. And so they, in turn, you know, the worship is, first off, we worship.
Hey, Sierra, what threw me off in the video, and then you just backed him up, was that Kronos is the same as the Demiurge. And that threw me off because I've always known Kronos as something separate, and it was like the god of time.
Yeah, the god of time who ate his children to it revolves around that. Ate his children. Time is always eating and consuming, right? It's why we die. Time is always consuming, always eating. And so Kronos and Yaldabaoth are one and the same in the sense that they structure this reality, or their reality, their their energy around time, around constant consuming to maintain and to sustain itself.
So do you think that Kronos and the Demiurge is something that is or was an actual being, or is it more of like an allegory?
I think it's, you can say it's a little bit of both, right? Because we can say that for pretty much anything. Everything that we're experiencing is in the creative mind, right? It's, everything is awareness and consciousness. So anything that is in consciousness can technically be considered a real thing. But also we create egregores with our own consciousness, with our own awareness and collective thoughts. So, you could have all of these things where religion was created, and it creates this religious egregore where, enough people collectively thinking about this one thing, heaven or hell, creates this reality. But I think that there is some truth to Gnosticism and the creation of the Demiurge and Yaldabaoth, and that he is a jealous god. And that's kind of who all of these religions are referring to, is this god that thinks it is the creator, the one true God. But I think that also in turn is a reflection of our own consciousness, our own awareness. We have the lighter aspects of our consciousness as reflections of the divine, as fractals of God, which is what we are, the co-creators. We have our shadow and our light aspects. So the overall creator has the shadow and the light aspect, which could be seen as Yaldabaoth, Satan, the devil, whatever. Those shadow aspects of our own consciousness, our own psyche, which is a fractal of the true creative mind, that flips to the other side of the coin. You have both sides, the light and the dark. So I don't know the actual truth, but my beliefs definitely do lean more towards Gnosticism.
Sierra with the mic drops tonight. So Lance, before we let you go, brother, what's your take on all of this, man? Like, this is a little bit above my pay grade, but it is also something that I've been, I wouldn't say dabbling in. I've already dove head first in like a year and a half ago, but I'm still like, I don't know, man. The more that I learn, the more I don't know shit. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, bro. And that goes back to like what I was saying earlier about just the awareness and, Kronos and the timekeeper. I always talk about that, with the clocks and how they keep time and that perpetual cycle. Yeah, but the only time, when I think about that little Saturn's cube, that black cube, I think about the Wailing Wall and the fact that it's a rolling wall and they're thrusting back and forth at that Wailing Wall in Israel, and everybody goes and kisses it, and they strap a little black cube to their head while they do it. So I don't know, man. We know that what they're worshiping is no bueno, and there's a lot that there's left to understand. That's for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, they're it's evident, they've got the whole world worshiping Saturn, with these three religions, right? And you can't deny it, right? The 7 straps that go around the arm where the Jews pray, right? They wrap 7 things. That's the 7 rings. They've got a black cube that they put on their head, on their forehead.
Yeah.
It's a fucking black cube. And, but Mecca's got the black cube. Trump's building has it. And Wall Street, there's a black cube, so what is it? Right. So like, for all the people that are like, oh, that sounds crazy, man. Well, you tell me, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is that?
Why
when
is
you graduate
right in our faces
everywhere?
Yeah. You graduate college and high school, and you wear the cube on your hat. That's what that stupid hat is, right? Like, I always wondered, and no one ever says, like, why are we wearing these stupid fucking hats?
You know what's funny
They're
is when my
fucking
daughter
retarded.
graduated, when my daughter graduated high school, I asked that question knowing the answer just to see what everybody around me would say, and nobody even fucking knew. Like not even a guess, bro. Like they just said, "Oh, it's just tradition."
Yeah.
Where'd the tradition come from?
The black robe, just like the priests wear, just like the judges wear in the courtroom. That's a whole other fucking thing. It's all the same
Yeah,
shit.
I was just gonna say it's a ministry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most high schools too will have their graduating classes in whatever their school colors are, and male representing one color and female representing another color. And since my daughter graduated high school in the Bay Area of California, I got to see people wearing different robe colors with their hats. So it was like,
Well, that's like goes to like graduate means like the etymology of things. I like etymology. But gradually indoctrinate. You know, then you get your doctorate's degree. You're fully indoctrinated.
Oh yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
Oh yeah.
And the English language, since you even bring that up, is the most occultic language created and was created with the intention of that.
Yeah, they used to teach etymology, and that's why we have so many different roots in the English language for sure. 100%, bro.
Yeah, when I was studying Crowley, like I was blown away by just that when in word magic itself and how much power each word has. And it was funny because when I had Tom on the White Rabbit, he was like, yeah, man. But like, I was like, do you still say good morning? And he was like, fucking Grand Rising is just dumb. And I really don't like the people that say it. I was like, damn, I kind of agree with you.
It's awful.
Grand Rising, yeah. It's one of those things that's also just kind of been abused by the love and light community, you know, but it's good to start thinking more intentionally about the things that we say. We don't want to say, good morning, this is such a great time to mourn. Or, you know, the weekdays making us weak, the weekend where we're weakened by the weekdays, you know. So it's good that we're more intentional with the way that we speak, but they've thrown it into everything. Everything that we say is like casting a spell on us.
I say happy new day now, and hopefully there's nothing wrong with that. But did you guys have any questions for Lance? Go around the horn if you wanted to before we let him off the hook here.
I have a quick question. So Lance, are you know, a lot of people, I guess we're scheduled for like around 2040 for a reset, right? It seems like they're every 138 years. Are you in agreement with that, or what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think the Civil War, well, the thing is that this kind of everything gets convoluted, right? But I think like the Civil War, there was a reset, and there's like little mini resets to usher in the larger resets. Much like, you know, a lot of these old world structures that we talk about, and we find they were all repurposed as, you know, asylums. And then you have a giant influx of like, you know, Cabbage Patch Kids and orphan trains to repopulate. There's just so much that's been hidden from us, the history, his story, you know, and I don't know. It's tough to say. It's tough to put it for me to nail down a specific time, because I don't think it's a specific time. I think they try to change the timeline, like push it ahead or pull it back. There's so much going on, man. That's a great question. That's a great question of when it will be. 2040, possibly. Could it be before then? Possibly. You know, I don't really know, because I don't even think we even know what the year is or what the date is, you know, or what the actual time actually is. Everything has just been so inverted, you know, and changed on us to keep us dazed, confused, and dumb and divided.
What year if you had to guess, what year would you say that it is?
Oh, me right now? I honestly have no idea. I think that they added at least 1,000 years to our timeline. And so like, while these old structures and stuff that we find, you can see where they changed the dates on it. It's been documented globally. None of the timelines and logistics make sense for what they say. And this is one of the reasons why the mud flood theory makes so much sense. But I think that they've altered history and added between like 700 and 1,000 years. That seems to be the common consensus in like the quote unquote Tartaria community.
Yeah.
All right. Sierra, did you have any questions before we let Lance go? Dude, I couldn't agree with you anymore. And for those that are like hearing this for the first time, I'd like to direct you to Sean Hibbler's film Old World Order. If you go on YouTube and just type in Old World Order or Hibbler, you'll see all of his movies. But Old World Order dives directly into this, and it's a very good introduction to it. And then once you get your feet wet, then go see Lance from Upstate, and he'll school you in what's like the black belt shit.
No, I appreciate you, brother. I really appreciate you inviting me for this phone call.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom looks like he wants to ask you something else, brother.
One more question.
Yeah.
We were wondering, what does upstate mean?
Oh, great question.
Upstate New York, bro.
That's what I said. I said, what does it mean? Like upstate? I said Utah because I thought maybe you were from, out that area. Okay. Yeah.
Well, what's funny is he told me that people call him Lance a lot. And I was like, well, that would make sense. That's your name. Of course they're going to call you that a lot,
Oh.
The dad jokes never stop.
Lance, I just started following you. I'm super stoked to be following you, by the way. I was kind of looking at your page as we were all chatting, and I really love that you're talking about the reset, because that's something that I definitely think about, because we talk about like a pole shift coming up, and scientists say that they can already see the pole shift happening and taking place, but I also kind of wonder because, they say that back they were using Project Looking Glass, right? And they could see into the future and kind of manipulate the timelines because they were able to see. And then they were no longer able to see the timelines after 2012, which is, when the Mayan calendar ended, when we were supposed to have our, world end and everything. So I'm just, I wonder if we have had resets before and a reset was planned and they've been trying to plan it, but because they couldn't see anything after those timelines, maybe it won't succeed this time. And maybe because when they were looking past 2012 and all they would see was the same outcome, like they couldn't really manipulate it after 2012 is what they say with Project Looking Glass. I just think, and I wonder if this resonates with you guys at all, if maybe like this time a reset wouldn't be possible for them. They're losing the footing for it. They're creating bunkers because the reset won't be possible, and because of a revolution or ascension is on the rise. Do you think that do you guys think that maybe after 2012 they've created all of this chaos, and they're trying to create all this chaos because they don't have the footing any longer to manufacture that reset, and so they're working on trying something a little bit different to maintain their existence here? Does that resonate with you guys at all?
Man, not only does it resonate, but it makes the Mandela effect make more sense, because they're not able to see past, so they're purposely manipulating that to change the timeline.
Yeah, and creating chaos so that they have energy that sustains them being able to make these timelines anchor in for them, because they no longer have the ability and the foothold that they once had. So I'm just wondering if that resonates with you guys, because we do talk about the resets a lot, and pole shift or another mud flood or whatever the case may be. But I'm wondering if they've kind of run out of time on all fronts, and that's why we're seeing this huge influx of chaos and everything, is because they're kind of panicked at what they need to do because they can't do those things anymore.
No, for sure. That definitely I think that resonates with me anyway, because their illusion magic is failing too. The veil is getting thinner and thinner.
Yeah.
They have less power, and so they have to pump as much chaos and disorder into to keep those low vibrations down. I mean, that makes sense too. There's a lot that goes into it with 2012, but that makes a lot of sense.
The only thing I will say is, like, I'm pretty sure there was probably a lot of chaos before every reset. So I would say that this is nothing new.
Yes. Yeah. I'm on a different, when it comes to this, I'm on a different thing. I think that we are on such a clock system. Like, this has all been scripted out. Like, they know exactly what day this is going down or whatnot, right? Like, 9/11 could have only happened on 9/11. It couldn't have happened on the 12th. It couldn't happen on the 10th.
But that was before 2012 when they couldn't see all the timelines converging into the one outcome.
Yeah, I know. I don't know that's a possibility, but it's I don't know. That doesn't resonate with me. Yeah. But it's totally possible. Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. I think
I can stand on both sides. I can stand on both sides of the fence, though, right? Because we know that everything is scripted, but at the same time, it's like I think it's Sam Tripoli that like uses the party analogy is like you can plan a party ahead of time as much as you want to, and some things are going to get pulled off and some things just aren't. And that's just how it is.
Yeah. I think
not
that
with
they
this
don't
stuff,
always...
though. Not with these events. I'm telling you, these major world events, they have these fucking things down to a T. And it's almost like, yes, they're scripted, but it's more than that. They're programmed. They're like coded like into this reality, right? Reality isn't even real. Like, because when you're real, reality is like fake reality.
Do you think that this reality can glitch at all, though? Like, or could our elevation of consciousness override it? You know, like, could we reach a level collectively where our consciousness just starts to override it, and then this reality just completely starts to glitch out? Like, could that be what we're seeing too?
I fucking hope so.
Yes, that's a possibility.
Absolutely.
We're not even close. We're not even fucking anywhere close to that level of consciousness. We're not even.
You don't think?
No. The whole world would have to think like we think.
Or better.
No, I'm just being real.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a slow drip process, but I think we came in waves for that reason specifically, because I think if everyone, woke up at the same time to what's been going on and what the world is and all the things that have been happening, it would be utter chaos. So we have this slow drip kind of happening where we're coming in waves, but I don't think it's as far away as you think, Tom. I think we're kind of on the verge or the precipice of some major change consciously. At least I hope. God, I hope. I really, really hope.
We're not.
We're definitely on the precipice.
Keep going and going and going. Just like if we did nothing, like we'll be 80, we'll be 90, we'll die. Like it's like like. We're not there. We're not even close. Like people.
What a Debbie Downer.
Do another pandemic, and everyone's
I don't know, Tom. I don't agree with
you. They're all falling for this shit. They think Charlie Kirk got shot. They think that was real. Like this is.
Did you get cut off, brother?
Yeah, but comparatively to 5 years ago, the amount of people that are awake now is
more. But it's so like what they do is. This feels like an awakening. This is not a true awakening. This is a fault. They're doing a huge false awakening right now.
Controlled awakening, yeah.
Right. And so but you don't realize it until you rise above the level of it. Meaning,
well, yeah.
Right. Like if you see like Candace Owens,
right.
A lot of my friends see her and they're like, dude, no, she's like a truth teller.
That's
I used to say that too until I rose above the consciousness level of her thing, and now I can see it. Oh no, she's not telling the truth. I thought she was telling the truth, but now that I know this, and this, not only is she not telling the truth, but I see exactly what the fuck she's about to do with.
But that's a testament to our evolution of consciousness, because I was also at a point where I thought these people are telling the truth, and I rose above it. So I just think that if we're seeing it in ourselves, and we're seeing people slowly awaken around us, that the momentum is just going to keep going.
Look.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to see that. Listen, but like religion, everyone's going to get stumped with religion. That's the final card. Like you need to realize that politics are fake. To get to this level of consciousness that we're talking about, everyone needs to realize that politics are completely fake, and then they got to realize that religion's completely fake. And nobody is ready for that religion conversation. They are gearing up for Jesus. They've got all these hot girls going for Jesus. Like when I was young, like these girls didn't give a fuck about Jesus. And now they got these like pastors, these good looking, like 25-year-old guys that are jacked. These guys are pastors now. And it's so fake. And you see it, and they're going for it. They're getting baptized and they're doing this whole thing. It's not about God anymore. It's all about Jesus. No more God. No one talks about fucking God. It's just Jesus. And then they've got the Jews are becoming super emboldened. And then they're going to, do something with the Muslims. But like no one's seeing through that card. The only people I know that religion's fake are the kids that parents never took them to church when they were kids. Because like,
well, that's the wrong I mean, they probably have a wrong outlook too.
they do,
right?
but they're right, but they don't know why they're right. Right? They're right because like their dad told them that it was a fairy tale, right?
Well, organized religion 100%, but if you look at all of the Abrahamic texts, and I'm not just talking about what's in the Bible, all of it tells a lot of truth. It tells the actual real history of the shit that we should be paying attention to, that we all end up talking about, right? The Nephilim, the fucking giants, Bigfoot. Bigfoot is in the Bible. And so like it's Esau. Esau was the first Bigfoot. And so like all these things that we're talking about, like demon takeovers, these energies, all of this stuff is the closest thing to an actual history book that we have.
And it's also fake.
I fucking hate you.
No, I mean it's embedded with truth, like 100%. Like
yeah.
They're cluing you in. They're telling us. They're giving us hints of like Nephilim and giants and like 100%, like definitely. But it's truth interwoven with bullshit. But yeah.
So
absolutely.
I tend to think that Jesus was a real walking person and an allegory. What do you think? Like not a walking person at all?
I'd say that's
been retold like 15 times.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but just because there's 500 rappers doesn't mean that Tupac didn't exist.
He was a ballerina, though. Yeah. Like he wasn't even a thug. He wasn't
well, fuck, that was a bad example. Doesn't mean that Chris Webby doesn't exist. So you know what I mean, though, right? Actually that is a great example, because my understanding of Jesus isn't the understanding of Jesus that most people are going to get to when they walk into a building. I know Jesus as the occult practicing person that was able to reach a level of consciousness and lightness that most people will never be able to attain.
The mystic.
Yes, that's the Jesus that I know. And so when I tell people I'm Christian and I go off of the beaten path, they go like, whoa, the fuck, you're not Christian. Like blasphemy. You're fucking, what is the word? There's a word for it, but charlatan? No, I don't know.
The Jesus you're referring to, right? That I think might have been here too. His name ain't Jesus. It's not Yeshua. It's not Yahuwah. It's none of those fucking names. It's a name you've never heard before.
Try me.
But I don't know the name. I'm saying we don't know the name. If they wouldn't tell us the name. Like the names that are brought forward, these aren't the real names. Like the names of these gods, like everyone's like, oh, what's God's name? You know, God doesn't have a name. If your God has a name, then that ain't it.
Yeah, the nameless one.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. So, Lance, thank you so much for joining us, brother. Did you have any closing thoughts?
No, this was a very interesting conversation, and I really enjoyed it. So thanks again for inviting me, and it was very nice meeting y'all. And hopefully we can chat again in the future.
Hell yeah, we would love to have you back on. Tell all your friends.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, brother.
So nice talking with you, Lance.
Yeah, so nice meeting you all. Thank you very much. What platform did you follow me on? I'll follow you back.
Yeah, I just followed you on the Upstate, Lance from Upstate.
No, he's asking platform like YouTube,
Instagram. Sorry. Yeah, Instagram.
Instagram? All right, right
yes,
on. I think some of my older content's on there. I had a lot of great content on TikTok, especially about the old world stuff, but I'm on my 4th TikTok account in like 18 months. So
yeah. That's why I love you, man. I only follow the ones that, the real ones when they're battling account losses. So everybody's like, how many episodes have you done? I've been like, I don't know, man, because I've been kicked off of every single fucking podcasting platform known to man. So fucking who knows?
Well, awesome. Well, much love. I appreciate y'all. And thanks again for the conversation. Yeah, have a great night.
Yeah.
Likewise.
Absolutely, brother. Have a good night, man. Awesome. That was a great call in.
That was great. Hey, real quick, I'm getting messages that maybe the YouTube's not working.
Oh shit,
then
for real? It says we're
went,
going.
I went and clicked on it myself, and it just says waiting for a white rabbit.
What in the actual heck? Okay. Well, I will play this next video, and while I'm doing that, I will see what the holdup is here.
What does Iran have to do with stargates, reptilians, and the suppression of consciousness on this entire planet? Everything. Today on Stargate Saturdays, let's talk about Iran and how we see an uprising of people as the Stargate in their area is clearing. You're going to realize that people that come from a certain area on the planet, their DNA is key coded to the grids and the stargates of their area. This is why those people have been targeted for thousands of years. Bloodshed, destruction of their land, and the suppression of the people there, because it completely relates to suppressing our entire planet. The energy flowing through the Stargate there directly relates to our brainstem on the left side. This area has been targeted by Draconian consciousness. So Draco was actually our North Pole like 5,000 years ago. It wasn't always Polaris. So we were directly influenced by that consciousness. And of course, that type of consciousness wants to create suppression. It wants to maintain absolute control, right? And so that area was targeted to essentially split our brain into two to make sure that we cannot anchor in our highest potential of our solar consciousness or our Christ consciousness. And so that area being damaged, being blocked, is directly suppressing the consciousness on the entire planet. You can help those people that are trying to break free from this suppression by healing your own fight or flight or freeze, your brainstem. So when you do your healing within your own body, you directly can clear the matching chakra or dimensional layer in that area of the land. So please pray for those people and know that them becoming free directly relates to the freedom of all humans all over the planet. Comment Stargate and I will send you some more New Earth secrets. Follow Earth 1111 for Stargate Saturdays coming up.
So, I don't know if the link that I originally got was different, but when I clicked on the link, we're live.
Okay.
You're muted, brother.
Yeah, maybe it's different. Let me try this one.
So sorry about that. But, you know, as she was talking, I was thinking about what you were saying, Tom, and the whole name thing. Maybe his name wasn't Jesus, but the whole Christ and the way that we refer to that as consciousness, as a level of awakening. Would you argue that maybe he was a person that reached that level of awakening? What do you think, Sierra? While he's working on this,
real quick. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, again, my beliefs lean towards Gnosticism. So I do view Christ as the anthropos, in Greek, the man of light. He was an aeon, so in pillar of the true creative mind, the nameless one, the creative mind. So they all reside in the pleroma, the aeons, and then so Christ, the man of light, the anthropos, Jesus or Yeshua, Yahuwah, whatever his actual name is, I call him Yeshua just because it most closely resonates with me. But I agree, they don't really give us that information because they don't want us actually being able to tap into this energy, have it support us. I do believe that he was a real person that embodied the man of light, and was trying to teach us to do the same, because reaching that level of consciousness, that Christ consciousness, was how we kind of escape this system. And, he died when he was 33. 33, we have 33 vertebrae at the top is where he ascended to when he was resurrected. That's his ascension story. So, I think that there's a lot of truth in that. I think that he was definitely a real person. And I think that, a lot of the teachings are very true, and that we can learn a lot from his teachings, from teachings of Yeshua, Mary Magdalene. So I don't believe really in religion at all. In religion, I know that there's a lot of deception behind it. Everything's been rewritten by corrupt men and beings that want power. But I believe in a lot of the things that, like, Yeshua's teachings. And as far as the Stargate in Iran, that's obviously why we have a lot of wars in the Middle East. It's not just about oil or resources. There are portals in our realm of existence that are interdimensional portals, and portals that also affect the frequency and emotional state of this realm. So I think a lot of the wars that we're seeing, a lot of the wars that have taken place over time, are for control of those portals, of those stargates.
Dude, the world we live in is so much cooler than the world we think we live in.
Everything that's sci-fi and mystical is actually truth, and then what they've given us is just, we're just these meat sacks, these little meat sacks that are just walking around not knowing anything, not really worth much. But in reality, we're just these incredible fractals of the creative mind that are extremely powerful, and there's a reason that they're constantly suppressing us in all of these ways, working tirelessly to keep us from remembering, because if we were to, then this whole game would just be over completely.
Yeah, I just said that on Tinfoil Hat, that if everybody stops playing along, then the illusion fails to exist. And that's what I think. Like, I agree with you, Sierra. I'm in your corner on this one. I think that there's more hope than there is not hope. And I also lean with you, Tom, that we are on a steady timeline. However, I think that we can disrupt it.
Yeah, we could definitely disrupt it, but and definitely make things, our living experience, maybe a little bit better. Like, they couldn't get away with a few things, or we're getting pushed back here, because they always relieve the tension when it starts to boil, right? When we start to push back. So, but I don't know, the whole thing of him being a real person, like, I'm at the point where I think there's like a 90% chance that the whole thing's made up, his whole story. And then the other 10% is that there was a guy, and then they attached this avatar onto him. His name definitely wasn't Jesus. We don't even know his name. We don't really know a lot about him. My friend Michael knows a lot about this. We should have him call in one night and talk about, there was a guy around 60 AD that was like who they built this character around. Okay. But the Christ within, Christ is, they conflated the Jesus with Christ. Okay. And they're two different things. Jesus was this guy who may or may not even existed, and Christ is the Christ within. Christ is the Christos fluid that Sierra was talking about, that travels up your 33 vertebrae from the base up to your pineal gland or whatnot, and that is Christ ascending, right? And that's the Christ within that we all need to find. And that's what I'm saying. The whole story of Jesus could just be a symbol, like an allegory or whatever, an analogy of this other thing, which is the Christ within. And I always ask people, they're like, "Oh, you need Jesus is the only way." And I always say, "Well, what do you know about Jesus?" And all the stuff people tells me is the stuff that they were told. That's what they told us about him. So, like, if he was a real person, the story that we've been told about him is a complete lie. And then we need to unpack that. So I'll just go along with it. He was a real guy and this and that. Do you think that the story that we're being told that happened from 2,000 years ago with a manger, a fucking manger and a virgin, this is a real story? Like, let's start with that. Okay. And like, I think a lot of people might even, if they thought about it for a second, be like, yeah, that's fucking retarded that I believe that. And why do we believe that? That's what we were told when we were little kids. Just like we believed in Santa Claus and all this bullshit and believed we needed a driver's license to drive. Right?
My mom was an asshole. And like, as far back as I can remember, told me from day fucking one, I'm the one buying these presents, and that motherfucker is not getting credit for this shit.
I struggle with that because I'm so incredibly honest with my son. And, you know, I love the magic, but I also feel like there's probably like some, you know, secret, malevolent thing that they have about Santa, about all this. And I'm like, so I'm telling my son this story and I don't really know the truth about it because, again, it's just something that we've been told and I'm just repeating that cycle, you know, and I like love the magic behind it. But then I'm like, oh, it's probably some fucked up thing that I'm just continuing the cycle on, perpetuating forever. But I really struggle with that because I don't know. I love the magic of like, you know, the mystery and stuff, but I'm sure it's something. I'm sure it's a ritual.
Saturnalia.
And,
yeah,
Saint Nick
exactly.
was a piece of shit too. The person or the fucking made up person that Saint Nick was supposed to be is like a fucking pedophile to begin with. His robe used to be green and it's only red because of Coca-Cola. Yeah.
Fuck, I know that's a tough one, man. I really struggle with that.
It's Saturnalia. It's on the solstice. It's on the Christmas solstice, the 23rd, right? So they just moved it 2 days, and these are all pagan holidays. And Easter is Ishtar, and that's you know. And I think what they do is they fuck in Easter, and then they have the babies of Saturnalia, and then they fucking eat them.
Yeah,
that's the story.
Of course,
that's what everybody's celebrating.
Wow,
keeping it real. You know?
Yep. No, 100%. It absolutely, and they have us all, you know, celebrating these things with them and. Anything that they allow us to take off work or, you know, have a little bit of rest is just something that benefits their beliefs and everything. It's just.
Yeah. Actual biblical scholars will tell you that, that Jesus, if we're to believe he was a real person, was born in the springtime.
Yeah. Yeah. They
the like, real New Year's, by the way.
Know his birthday
Who
at all.
knows? Once again, it's like let's just say he was real and he was born. Like, how the fuck would we know what day that was that he was born? Like, honest to God, when you go and tell your friend a story and then he tells your friend the story and the story's been told 10 times, the story's already fucked up. So this story that we're being told 2,000 years later is the story. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
There's no way. So like we got to at least start with that. Like I'll even go along. I'll play along. It was real. This guy was here and he did perform miracles. And like, you know, by the way, you know, there's a lot of false prophets that perform miracles. You know that, right? Like you pray to a demon and you say, hey, you know, give me the power to do a miracle. And these guys do shit like Joe Dispenza and they go to his workshop and, oh, yeah, I feel so great. That's all a spell. That's a whole fucking false miracle. Do you guys know about false miracles? That's what they are.
Yeah.
So anybody can do a fucking miracle. Like,
well,
you know what I mean?
Also who I don't know the name of it, but the magicians, they make a deal and there is a fucking name for it, but they have a demon entity with them to do all this, like Chris Angel, fucking David Blaine, all these people. It's all manipulated by a spirit of kinds. And my bad, I haven't been paying attention to the chats.
They're being helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're perfect. Like David Blaine, somebody said in there. Yeah, David Blaine, Chris Angel. There's this Asian guy who is just fucking insane. He like puts Chris Angel to shame. And his name is Jin. Go figure, right?
Jin. Unreal.
Fauci. It's the Faucian fucking deal is what they make. That's what it's called. Or Faustian.
Faustian deal. That's what that is, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, so
and if you look at like back, yes, Jin, like genie, and back. Oh, I was answering Level Plane Poem, but also the fuck. Where was I going with that? Jin. What other words were we playing on? Jin. Fuck.
The magic guys.
Oh yes. So the magic guys, if you like Google even like way back to Houdini and shit, there's always like on their flyers, there's like a fucking little demon in their work. And then you fast forward to Chris Angel, and he has like all the esoteric symbols of occultism and shit, like that deal with specific things that he's working with. Because like a lot of that shit, some of it is illusion, yes, 100%. But then you have these motherfuckers that are doing like straight fucking manipulation of time, air, and space.
And what's his name? Angel. L from L. He's from L, Saturn. So
Chris,
that's a whole other thing
Chris,
with
Christian
Saturn.
Angel.
Right. From Saturn. They're all from Saturn. Elites are from Saturn. So there's the Saturn thing again.
It's all Saturn worship. All of it revolves around Saturn worship.
There's Justin right there.
Yeah.
Oh boy. What's up, Justin?
The hexagon symbolism all over New York was actually something that I was really fascinated by because, you know, I've only been in New York one other time. I didn't know about all these things back then, but knowing now, and obviously New York has its own energy, and but even just the hexagon symbolism, you know, because you have the hexagon on top of Saturn, the Saturn hexagon. I told you guys that when I would look at reptilians or beings that were projecting as humans, they would always have hexagon pupils. And the hexagon symbolism in New York is everywhere. They just put up this new, or it's not new, but it just reopened recently after COVID or whatever. And it's this huge like web, and it's all these hexagons, and it's just everywhere. So the Saturn worship is put in our face. We're on little black cubes all the time. They have us worshiping these black cubes with them. People unknowingly just constantly worshiping the black cube, you know?
And it really was a cube back in the day before we had like the flat screens and shit too. And so, and they're everywhere you go. I mean, at my work, there's like every wall is filled with like 4 or 5 of them. And you can't go anywhere without the black cubes around or the looking glass, right?
Yeah.
With the apple taking a bite right out of the back of it, right on the back of everybody's phone. And when they first gave these out to you, what did they give you? What was the picture that automatically came on your iPhone? The fucking cartoon ball globe,
the globe,
lie.
The spinning ball in the middle of outer space. It's funny looking at those and like seeing all of the clouds on it that have been copy and pasted over and over again, because they just get so sloppy with it, and they just expect the majority of people to do no further research, to look no closer at it, you know. But you can zoom in on those pictures and it's like they copy and pasted the same cloud over and over and over and over again. They just get so sloppy with it. And also they just don't care, because they're like, oh, they'll never wake up, they'll never even notice, these idiots.
They don't care.
So,
they like it. They like that we're talking about this.
Yeah.
In the chat right now, we have the author of a lot of flat earth books, and I got one of them right here, and this is just the flat earth fundamentals. And not only that, but I mean, you can just, it made me so mad because I was listening to the latest tinfoil hat, and this guy was making such good points, and then he fucking was like, I don't know why I am emotionally attached to the flat earth, but when people mock it, it really fucking pisses me off, because it's like they're insulting my intelligence. But he was like, until somebody comes with any proof of a flat earth, then maybe I'll listen, but I have yet to see any. And I'm like, what the fuck do you live on? Like, I don't get it, because everything they've told us about the fucking glow is obvious bullshit, and you have to be retarded to fucking believe it. Like any of it, for any of it to make sense to you, and for people to present even the littlest, tiniest bit of evidence for the flat earth. And you know what this fucker says? He's all, when I get out of the shower, water forms around my balls. Fuck you. Anyways, check out this book, Level Playing Poem. You can find them at charismictruthstore.com, and you can even get them on Amazon. And is there another place that you can get these? I have the links. If you listen to White Rabbit, I always have the links to this stuff that you guys can go check out her books. They're awesome. She also has the Nukes or Fake and Gay book.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I remember you talking about that. That's awesome. I want to check all these out.
Hell yeah. Nuclear weapons, truth bombs, and explosion of lies, which we were getting into earlier, is the fact, and I wanted to bring this up, is all this shit going on in and with Iran and and Israel and supposedly the United States. If we have nukes and Israel has nukes, why in the fuck are they taking this pummeling right now? Why hasn't Big Brother stepped in and been like, all right, enough is enough, and fucking just get rid of them? Because they don't fucking exist. Iran knows that they don't exist, and this is the biggest fucking poker bluff call ever.
Yeah, I mean they're all on the same team, so you know.
Yeah, they know that their nukes don't exist. They all know that the nukes don't exist. It's just a little fear tactic that they use to have people like, oh yeah, we should really go and get those nukes. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's just another one of those things that they created to have people following this one narrative of why there's war and why we're following these certain things and allowing these certain things, but it's just all bullshit.
And that's contradictive of itself too, right? Because they'll be like, oh no, we can't fuck with China. We can't fuck with Russia. They got nukes.
It's all fake.
But yet anytime anybody else is fucking we got to fucking destroy them. They're getting nukes. They have nukes.
It's always the nuke.
Right.
Wait a minute. We won't go after these guys because they have them, but we'll completely wipe these guys out because they do. Make it make sense.
And I think that the reason there's no nukes isn't because they can't be built, because all the technology that will ever exist already exists today. So building a bomb's like, I mean, like, dude, they've got the whole firmament, the sun and the moon, and everything's on a clock system. So it's like, you're telling me they can't build a nuke? It's just that they're not going to use them. They're not going to use them. They don't need. You're not going to.
Well,
nuke
they can't
yourself.
build them the way that they say that there are no nukes. That's a fucking bullshit made up boogeyman. Like scientifically, it's been disproven to exist. And yeah,
I
get that book.
Screw everybody. I think it would have implications in different realms and dimensions, and I think it's something that they wouldn't do because it would just fuck them too. I think they definitely have the technology. I think they have weapons that we don't know anything about. They have direct energy weapons and things like that could cause a severe amount of damage, you know, relatively close to that of like a nuclear weapon. But I think something along the lines of like a nuke, atomic bomb, something like that would have implications that would cost them greatly. And also, I kind of believe that, you know, we have support. I think that there's other beings. You know, we talk about these negative beings all the time, but I think there are also positive beings. I think we have positive beings in this realm, in other dimensions. And I think that we are supported in some ways. You know, I think that they can't necessarily intervene, but I think when it comes to things like karmic law, that they certainly can. And I think there have been times where things have been intervened and maybe they tried to make nukes and they were stopped, or they were, you know, not able to follow through with it. But I think that as far as things that would have those types of implications, not just for humanity or for a specific area, those are kind of either not allowed and it's kind of abided by, or they've tried and it's been nipped.
I agree that there are good beings. It's just that it's us. We're the good beings.
Yeah.
We're the good beings.
Shit,
like that. And when I tell people that kind of makes them sick, because they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're the good guys.
Yeah.
There's no good guys on TV. We're the good guys.
Yeah, no good guys on TV. They're definitely not anyone on the world.
No good guys on TV. And I think we have maybe benefactor. There's a benefactor out there of some sort that can't be explained. That's ineffable. I just don't know if I don't think it's Archangel Michael and Gabriel and those guys. It's not like that. Like they're not. I don't even think they're good. I think that they're all bad too. They're like demons, and it's a trick when we call upon these people. It's a total trick to get us to call out to a demon for help. But I agree that there are benefactors. We just don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And they're us. It's us. And if there are in the ethers or whatever, you know, would you call it like nipping it in the bud, right? Like possibly, yeah. I'm open to that. That would be awesome.
Like
But
future us, maybe, you know, like future us doing things or helping out our current selves. But do you guys believe in like Arcturians and Lyrans and Syrians and Pleiadian, you know, like Pleiadians? Do you guys believe in those type of beings or?
Maybe. I believe that they could exist, but I've watched some of these people that supposedly will get overtaken by Palladians
Handle
and
them,
talk,
yeah.
and the Palladians will talk through them. And a lot of these people, I'm calling bullshit on. But there is a one
Like the
girl.
shard.
that's all bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, the channeling. Yeah.
That whole UFO disclosure community is the biggest bunch of fucking bullshit going, and they are fucking like, I have friends that like they blocked me and stuff. They are all commanders. Like, how many fucking commanders can you possibly have for the Galactic Federation? And oh, by the way, it's just a bunch of hot women that are these fucking commanders. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that whole thing, that is all fucking bullshit. They are
Like the Galactic Federation and
well, the word federation. Is that a good word or a bad word? Feds, the Fed. You get it? And this is how I figure stuff out. They show you though with the word calling it the Galactic Federation. They're basically saying, "Hey, we're a bunch of fucking bullshit. We're just another extension of the feds."
yeah.
Is
Yeah,
what
I
it
can
is.
see it. I've never really been one to follow like the Galactic Federation or anything along those lines. I do think that there's other beings because I think that if we can sit here and talk all day about reptilians and all this, you know, then on the same breath, there are absolutely other beings that are more benevolent and things like that. Again, I don't know what kind of impact they're allowed to have, if they're allowed to intervene in any way, but I think it makes sense to know that, or to believe that there are beings that are a little bit more positive aside from us, because I think that obviously humans are human. It's the being of light, the being of different colors of light. You know, we are good. We're innately good. We're compassionate and empathetic, and that's part of our power. We can tap into those frequencies. So I think there are beings that dwell in those higher frequencies all the time. We can tap in between all of the frequencies, and that's kind of why we're unique. And then there are beings that dwell in those lower frequencies that can't really tap into the higher ones.
I agree with that 1000%. And I also think that these beings help us in a lot of ways. And there's so many different ways that people will look at it, right? Some people will call it manifestation. Some people will call it witchcraft or casting spells. Some people will call it prayer. Whatever it is, we might disagree on what it's called, but nobody disagrees on its existence. So like, I feel truly that there are good beings here that want to help us. And I also believe that there are benevolent beings here that want us to suffer.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, maybe those beings don't even really necessarily know that they're bad, but they just cannot, like, they can't tune in to those higher frequencies. So they just don't have compassion. It's like an animal in the wilderness type thing. You know, like, do we look at an alligator and say that it's evil because it's eating its prey to survive? Or do we just look at it as a part of nature? Do we look at these beings as evil because they're doing what they are doing to survive? Or are they just a part of this universal realm, system, creative mind that we're also part of? I don't know.
Yes. And I also think that we were part of that at one time, and we're going to be going back to it as well. And that we just want to experience this. And like, as I said, I think that most of, if not all of these people saying that they're using Palladians to talk through them, a lot of the things that people have said, I do definitely agree with that comes out of their mouth. It's just those people are choosing a different way to portray that information. Yeah. So yeah, yes,
a lot of it's for not the right purposes. It's all for, you know, clicks and views and, you know, right, things like that. So there's a lot of
different races, different types of energy, and in different forms, you know, like, so like formless energies and shit like that. I 1000% are all playing a role in this. And I do believe that we were one of those races or part of them. And this is just a fucking game that we come down here to experience. Like this time, I want to go down there and know what it's like to be a fucking victim. And you just have like the shittiest fucking life ever so that you can experience what the fuck that is like. And then you go back up and then you choose your next avatar and you're like, I'm gonna fucking win this time.
Yeah. I think our higher self is in control, and our higher self knows the lessons that it wants to learn, the experiences that it wants to have to evolve and expand. And I think that, you know, we come down here and the little I, the little self feels like, oh, I'm powerless, I'm such a victim. But the big I, the oversoul, the higher self knows like you're here for a reason. This is an experience, like you're eternal. There's nothing to actually fear. But when you're in this, you're the little I, and you have to remember that you're the big I am. You are the I am.
Well, I got a question that is kind of a banger, and I figure this could be the last topic of the night. And I want to know what you guys' interpretations of dreams are. And like, is it just our minds going crazy? Do we actually go somewhere? Is it where we truly do live and we have to go like back home and recharge every night? Like, what is your guys' take on dreams?
You go ahead, Tom.
No, you go ahead. This isn't one of my favorite topics. Go ahead.
I honestly don't know, because I've always had really crazy dreams since I was a kid. I remember always having super vivid, real, but bizarre dreams that, like, looking at it from a 3D perspective, where my conscious is at right now, my human consciousness is like, that didn't make any damn sense whatsoever. But then also you have dreams where it's like, seems very symbolic or gives you kind of some insight into situations in your life. And so I think it's definitely like a different dimension that we travel to. But I don't know how to interpret them, really. I have a hard time interpreting my own dreams. I try and remember them. I know for a fact last night I was having some strange dreams, some really crazy dreams, but I'm not good at interpreting them. I'm really not good. And I don't remember them a lot. I just know that I have very bizarre dreams. So I don't know exactly what the dream world is. I don't know if it's like our natural state of being where we're in this like astral realm. I truly do not know.
I hope not. I'm frantic in most of my dreams.
I hate the fact that I can't run properly, can't punch. Last night I was trying to run and it was like my legs were bags of sand, and it makes me like panic in my dream that I can't move. So yeah, that would suck.
Well, there's different types of dreams, right? You know, so there's like, you know, if you have something on your mind, like that's really on your mind, whether it's a person you just got broken up with, or like your job or whatever, you kind of take that to bed. And like, I've noticed, like, I'll have a basically dream about that all night long. Like, you can't get it out of your head, literally. Like, you're even taking it to bed with you, and like, it's like on your mind. So there's like those weird dreams where you don't even get a great sleep, and you're kind of like in and out, and it's this thing is on your mind, whatever this fucking thing is. So there's that type of dream. And then there's more of a lucid dream where you're actually, you know, this happens to me a lot, where I'm like, dude, I'm fucking dreaming right now. And then you can kind of like, oh, I want to walk over there, or like, oh, I'm gonna go fuck that girl. And like, you know, you're like, you can like start to steer the dream, right? You know, so there's that kind of a dream. And then, you know, there's like the recurring dream. Like, I have one. I have a recurring dream where it's always like a weird situation, and it used to always be around golf, and it would be like a dream where it was my turn to hit the ball, and I'd tee up, and I'd get over the ball in my stance, and like, you know how golf is, there's a lot of mental cues you have to go through before you swing the golf club. And in this dream, I'm like over the ball, like, you know, getting my posture right. And like, that's the dream. Like, I never take a swing. It's just constant like fidgeting. Oh, the ball rolled off, put the ball back on. Right. It's this whole weird thing. Like, And then like I think I actually do hit the ball at the very end. That's the dream, is that there's some kind of like, like a hesitation. And it's not just golf now. It's happened with other things. Like I'm trying to remember. It's hard to remember now. Where I'm like,
Is it
prepping, and then not
telling
doing,
you that? Is it maybe telling
something.
you, that you're not committing to what you want to do?
It's telling me. It's telling me a lot of things. It's telling me that there's like a hesitation. There's perhaps not taking perfect action. Like the whole thing of not pulling the trigger, so to speak, right? So it's several things. And I've had this dream like over and over again, not a lot, like once, a couple times a year, but like my whole life.
Can you guys fly in your dreams?
I don't think I do usually.
I do. I fly in my dreams, not like Superman or Matrix, like fucking warp speed, but I can like levitate up onto billboards or fucking really tall buildings and shit. But here's the catch. If there's somebody in my dream that I know in my real life and I try to show them, it doesn't fucking work.
That is crazy.
So are you like in the astral? Like, because people go to the astral when they're like, I don't think I have, not that I know of. I haven't knowingly done that, but like I have a friend who says he goes into the astral and all this stuff. Like, is that what you're doing?
I don't know, man. It's possible because there's this girl that I went to school with and we were really good friends up until high school. And we just kind of joined our own cliques, and to this day, like she's not a social media person or anything. And I hardly ever think about her, but she shows up in my dreams like once every year while I'll be sitting on top of a building after I've flown on top of it and just sitting and pondering and looking at shit. And she'll show up and she flies and it's fucking weird.
Oh, wow. That's really bizarre.
And she's the only person I can fly around that I know in my personal life. But like I never kept up with her. Like I have no idea where she is to this day.
Is it her flying with you? Like, have you talked to her? Like, hey, I had that dream. Like, did you have that same
dream? She's the only one that I can show that I can fly. But here's the thing is I don't realize that I'm dreaming in my flying dreams. There are dreams where I know that I'm dreaming and I can pull myself out of them and manipulate them more, but not the flying ones.
That's so interesting. It would be weird. Like, I know you don't talk to her, but it would be interesting to see if she's had any similar dreams if you ever do get a chance to like catch up. Have you guys told the characters in your dreams that that you're dreaming? Because a lot of people say they have a super weird reaction. And I had one time when I told a character that in my dream that I was dreaming and I was in an apartment and there was a beach behind me. And it was my son's father. And I told him, oh, I'm in a dream. And I looked at the beach behind me and I look back and he's this like towering dark figure. And I've heard people say they've told like characters in their dreams that they know they're dreaming and suddenly the character's eyes just go fully black or that their demeanor completely changes. And yeah, I don't know. So it's really interesting. If you guys are like, if you find yourself in a dream that you have some control over, try it next time. Try it if you want. Next time.
I'm scared to. I'm scared to.
Yeah, I don't think I would personally try it, but I've heard that on a lot of occasions that they've had really weird things happen once they've let a dream character know that they know that they're dreaming.
The way that I know that I'm dreaming is probably the most mainstream way is when I feel like things are too weird. I will try to look at my hands, and if I can't see my hands, then I know I'm in a dream. And then I can either wake myself up, or what's even more fun is I can manipulate the dream, which I'm getting better at.
Yeah, I think I need to stop smoking so much weed because I feel like I smoke and I forget my dreams. And honestly, I have the same crazy dreams whether or not I do smoke, but I think I remember them a little bit better if I don't. And I tend to smoke pretty much throughout my day. So I think that, if I was not to, then I might have a better chance at getting into my dream a little bit, but I have a hard time not smoking all day during the day.
The smoke if you smoke like every day, you'll stop dreaming. At least I did for a while. And then like I took a break and I was like, oh wow, I'm dreaming. Came back quick. Like
Never
2 days
happened to me,
later.
but I hear that a lot too. I dream regardless, and I smoke. You know, I'll take breaks here and there for a couple of weeks, but I smoke regularly, and I still dream very, very much so.
I'm not gonna say shit, but I dream every single night.
Yeah, I dream all the time too.
I don't dream every night. Or no, I mean, knowingly.
Maria, that you remember, yeah.
Right.
Really? I usually get really intense dreams as I'm falling asleep. And then if my alarm clock will wake me up in between my snoozes, I have like intense dreams.
Yeah.
But anyways, this was another great episode. Tom, did you have a call in tonight?
I don't think it
'Cause
was, a call. It was just my knucklehead friends calling me. I'm like, dude, I even texted you on a show.
Oh, okay.
I'll have one for our next show for sure.
Okay, awesome. I have a bunch of people that I have in mind too, so I'll run them by you. And I was thinking, you know, like, I mean, this was great. We got to play some of the videos. We had a call in, and the conversation was fucking fantastic. So
yeah,
thank you guys again. Like, I think this is coming together really good.
Yeah, heck yeah. This has been a lot of fun, and we're just on episode 2, so it's about to get nutty in here.
It's gonna get funner.
It's gonna get even funner.
And we totally did not bring to the table our main topic night was going to be the pick apart the psyop or psyop of the week. Whatever everybody is involved in is the main video of the week. I don't know if there really was one this week. So
probably Iran.
Yeah.
Iran.
And we kind of touched on it. We didn't play any videos of fireworks going off in Israel, but next week we will definitely break down the psyop for you guys. And let's go ahead and go around the horn. Sierra, you absolutely fucking crushed it tonight. So why don't you start off and let us know where we can find you?
Oh, sweet. Well, thank you so much for that. I felt a lot more at ease tonight. The first one I was a little nervous, so I was ready to rock and roll tonight. You guys can find me on Instagram, Divinely Sierra. And yeah, super excited to be doing this with you guys. Thank you guys so much again for another awesome conversation.
Yes, heck yeah. Tom, take it away.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram right now. That's all I got cooking. So follow me there and check out my shit. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Good stuff, good conversations, fun times. So love it.
Yes.
Great.
And great fucking videos from both of these people. So please do go follow their Instagram accounts. I was lazy this time and didn't have the live links prepared for people watching live. But as usual, if you come back in about an hour, those links will be up there for you to click on. And until this goes on the Cult of Conspiracy, I'm going to leak these out on White Rabbit and get some presents built up for us. But I do believe this will be the first episode on the Cult of Conspiracy. So look out for that, guys.
Sweet.
All right.
Awesome. And we're going to end this out like, yeah, boom, 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 Tel Aviv. So have a good night, guys.